Okay, good morning, friends. Shalom Aleichem. How's everybody doing? We're continuing in Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. Really, we should have finished Siman Nun Zayin yesterday, but this will give us the proper way to start Hilchos Kriya Shema. Seif Beis. We're in Siman Nun Zayin Seif Beis. Makom shenagu litzlik al chavreim bein kaddish ubarchu liyotzer ar. In a place where the custom is to scream against their friends between Kaddish and Baruchu and Yotzer Ar. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. Where the minhag is to scream against their friends between Kaddish Baruchu and Yotzer Ar, or to speak with Tzarchei Rabbim, we learned that after Yishtabach, you're allowed to speak with Tzarchei Rabbim. But between Kaddish and Baruch Hu and Yotzer Ar, you can't speak with Tzarchei Rabbim. It's like you already started. And the reason is because we saw in Mishnah in Siman Nun Dalet Sivkat and Yud Gimel, the kavana of the shots when he says Baruch Hu es Hashem is that the tzibur should say the bracha of Yotzer Ar. Baruch Hu es Hashem, the Iker Kavana is, come on, bless Hashem. Which means that the tzibur has to respond, not just Baruch Hashem Hamvayach L'Olam Va'ed. The Iker is the tzibur should be saying, Baruch Atah Hashem L'Kin Machlam Yotzer Ar V'Arei Choshech. Again, the shaila that I had was, what if you're in a shul, they daven a little bit quickly, are you allowed to go ahead? Yeah, are you allowed to go ahead? So you're up to Ava Rabbah, and the Chazan says Baruch Hu. Is that in a way a violation of the lechatchila ideal way to be davening, because you're not really responding Baruch Atah Hashem L'Kim Achelam Yotzer Ar V'Arei Choshech. Yeah, that was Siman Nun Daled Sivkatan Yud Gimel. Right, the Mishna Berura said, Misha shehischal v'ayim achrim shekasvu debein kaddish lebarchu dinoi l'chol mili kebein haprakim v'teikav achar barchu avshalei hischal adam b'chaz yotzer v'ke'emtza parak de misham ve'ilach hu ka'aschalas yotzer ki ikar kavanas hashatz ma she'omer baruch Hashem hainu she'yavarchu achar kach bevirchas yotzer ar. So we saw that Reb Chaim Kanievsky says someone who's lagging behind is mevatel biyadayim the takana of Baruch Hu. In other words, you say, I'll come a few minutes late, and they daven slow, so I'll be saying Psukei de Zimra while they're singing Kel Adain. No, you can't do that. You're mevatel biyadayim the takana of Baruch Hu. Question is, what about going ahead? Okay, we begin now. Hilchos Kriya Shema. Hilchos Kriya Shema. Dinei Kriya Shema Berchasa, the laws of Kriya Shema and the brachos. Zman Kriya Shema shel Shachris. The Zman Kriya Shema of the morning. Mishayiras Chaver Haragel Imay Ktsas Berichak Arba Amos V'Yakiranu. When you could see your friend, who you're somewhat accustomed to him, a little bit, 4 amos away, and you could recognize him. A friend that's, you know him a little bit. If you could recognize him 4 amos away, that's his Zman Kriya Shema. How long does it go for? It goes for 3 hours, which is a quarter of the day. The choicest mitzvah is to read it kivasikin. Perush, Talmidim, students. Varashi Perush, meaning like the Talmidei Chachamim, the students of the stages. Varashi Perush, Anoshim Anovim Umechabevim HaMitzvahs, humble people who love mitzvahs. Shahayu mechavnim lekroisa ma'ad koidem hanetzachama, that they're mechavein to read it slightly before netzachama. Perush yitzias hachama. What does hanetzachama mean? You know, there's a famous chakira. What is the word hanetz? Is it the netz or is it hanetz? Yeah, is it hanetz? Is it a hey hayedia or is the word hanetz? So the Ramah says hanetz hachama, perush yitzias hachama. Kamay heinetzu harimainim, the pomegranates have sprouted. So it's a lashon of Heinetzu. It's Hanetz. So it's not like, it doesn't make sense. People say, what time is Nates? I don't know. What is Nates? There's no such thing as Nates. Doesn't exist. What time is Nates? Whenever you get, the guy got out of bed at 11 a.m. and he's davening Nates. It's as good as any other test. He could call it whatever he wants. He's allowed to call it Nates because the word Nates has not been taken yet. The question is, what time is Hanates? Okay. What's the inyan of the Vasikin saying it a little bit before Hanates? Kedei sheyisayim kriya Shema uberchaiseha im Hanates hachama. In order to complete kriya Shema and the brachos with Hanates, v'yismach hatfila miyad b'Hanates hachama. Umi sheyuchal lechavein la'asus kein, someone who could target to do this, scharai meruba ma'id. His reward is very great. Says the holy Mishna Berura, Zman kriya Shema. The brachos, it's not only the time for the words Shema Yisrael, but rather it's the brachos even before of Yoitzarar also cannot be before Misha Yakir. Now it's very nice that we're learning these halachas now, because there's a big question, where does the word Chanukah come from? And the Tzrar Hamar of Avram Saba says that it was Niskala to him, and that nobody ever said this before, that Chanukah comes from Chanu Chafhei. They were victorious with the 25 letters of Kriya Shema, that the Chashmanam did not have time to learn. And when you don't have time to learn, Chazal created a jam-packed energy bar of learning called Kriya Shema, and that's how they were victorious. Chanu Chafhei. They were victorious with the 25 Asvan de Kriya Shema. Okay, Haragel Imaktsas. What's an example of somebody you know a little bit? Not like a guy who you see his face on Zoom every day. That guy, you know him very much, We're talking about Ka'achsanai, like a guest. The Asi Labrangin comes once in a while. The iragel imay harbe, because if you recognize him well, if you're rachig menamakir, you could see him from a mile away. The iragel klal, if you don't know the guy from Adam, afilu karv legabenamakir, you could be pressed up against. You still don't know who he is. V'nikba zeh hazman lekriya Shema. This time was established for Shema after miksas anashim coming v'tasim shalom al shachar. Some guys get up at Alois. So why can't you say Shema earlier? Why wait to Misha Yakir? The Karina Beyuv Kumechem Natayra. Midairaisa, you're allowed to say Shema from Alois HaShachar. Therefore, B'diavad you're Yotzei from Alois. Uklakaman Mesavdalad. Mikamakim. Kivan deruba de inshi loy kaima. Ad Sheyakir Echad Asera. Most people don't get up until Misha Yakir. That's number one. Number two, Va'oid Mibnei Shekavu Parshas Tzitzis B'Kriya Shema. Number two, the Parsha of Tzitzis is in Shema. L'chsiv Uri Isa Moisai. Lefikach kavu chachamim zmana mishayakir ben tchelas ulavan. Therefore, they established the zman from when you recognize between blue wool and white wool. V'uhazman de mishayakir es chaver b'richak arba amos. That's the zman of when you recognize your friend 4 amos away. Now, when is mishayakir? The Dirsha brings that the bir halacha says the zman of Mishayakir is the Bir Halacha Divrei Hamascha Kamai. Is Mishayakir is a tenth of an hour, 6 minutes after Alois. Hey, that works, but I don't think we don't follow that. So the shir of the Pri Megadim is 6 minutes after Alois. The Minchas Yitzchak says that the Bir Halacha questions the Pri Megadim about other things, but he doesn't challenge this shir. However, the Gedolei Zmanenu, right? It's between 15 minutes and 30 minutes after Alois. So the Minchas Yitzchak says it's between 15 minutes and 30 minutes after Alois. The Kaf HaChaim and the Sefer Eretz Yisrael, written by Rabbi Chil Michal Tikachinsky, says in Yerushalayim the minhag is it's 1 hour before Hanetz. So if Hanetz is 72 minutes after Alois, then Mishayakir is 12 minutes after Alois. That's Minog Yerushalayim. Others say 52 minutes before Neitz HaChama. So it would be 20 minutes after Alois. Some say 40 minutes before Neitz HaChama. So 32 minutes after Alois. Says Hagon Rav Moshe Feinstein that he checked on a clear day that it's between 35 and 40 minutes before Neitz. So it's between 32 and 37 minutes after Alois. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky says it's not less than 36 minutes. It's not less than 36 minutes before Hanetz. 37 minutes before Hanetz, you can't do it. You can't say Shema, says Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. Can't do it. So we're talking now that you need to be like over 35 minutes after Alois. Rav Shlomo Zalman says it's less than 50 minutes before Neitz HaChama. Rabbi Yashiv says later, don't put on tzitzis and tefillin only about 42 minutes after Alois. Basically, it's really Zmanim before Neitz. So that's why many people, they're makbid to get up at 9 a.m. just in case, But anyway, these are the shittais. Ranging between 6 minutes and Rabbi Yashiv is probably the most machmer, and 42 minutes after Alois HaShachar. It really should be at least a half hour. Rabbi Yaakov says it's at least 36 minutes. Rav Moshe also says between 32 and 37 minutes. Okay, Mishna Berura continues. Ad Seif u'lechatchila asur l'sachar Alois hazman. You have until the third hour, but it's asur l'chachil to wait until that time. Now, what about someone who davens vasikin every day? He doesn't daven on Shabbos vasikin. Should he still say kriya? Now, right. So the shaila is like this: Is vasikin only for Shemona Esrei? And Shema, well, if you're going to daven Shemona Esrei at Hanetz, so when are you going to say Shema? You'll have to do it before Hanetz. Or is the inyan to say Shema before Hanetz? Meaning, is saying Shema a few minutes before Hanetz inherently noble, or is it only a heichi timsa to daven Shemona Esrei at Hanetz HaChama? But if let's say on Shabbos you're davening Shemona Esrei later, there's no inyan to get up early to say Shema before Hanetz HaChama. So the Shulchan Aruch Rav says you should still say Shema before Hanetz, to be choishesh for those who hold that Iker Zman Kriya Shema is before Neitz. Rosh Hashanah Zalman adds that you should make a t'nai, that it could be it's not Iker Zman. So you should wake up, say it before Hanetz, and then be masneh that if it's not the right time, you're kakar b'toira, and then you'll be yoytze when you say it later. Interesting. Okay. Weiter.
I mean, in the winter, many places in the world, it's quite late, Hanetz HaChama these days. What time is it in New York, Hanetz, these days?
Hanetz is...
Today was 7:05 in Borough Park.
7:05 in Borough Park.
I was going to say like 6:53 last week was 6:53. Is that possible?
Yeah.
For Borough Park? Or for Long Island? It goes almost a minute a day now.
Last week, one day I had a daven early. No, on Thanksgiving. How long ago was that?
It's coming up in a couple of days now.
That was 2 weeks ago? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty late. Yeah. Okay. And the Zman is Nimshach Til Shalosh Shos. Why? Shekein Derech B'nei Malachim La'mayros. It's a derech of princes to get up then. Olahachi Karina Be'adan Uvkumecha. So it's still called, and when you get up. Umaynim Elo HaShalosh Shos Mizman Amad HaShachar. The 3 hours start from Amad HaShachar. Kain Kasav HaMagen Avram. That's the opinion of the Magen Avram, that it starts from Amad HaShachar. V'das Hagra, that the 3 hours starts Mishas Hanetz Hachama. Right, so that's the famous Machlokes Magen Avram and the Gra. Magen Avram says, Man Krishma, you start the 3 hours from Alois, and the Gra says you start from Hanetz. Because even irrespective of this, you're now to delay it. Okay, let's hold it over here. We'll continue tomorrow, Be'ezus Hashem. Okay? Hatzlacha.
Recording stopped.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Number one, he didn't address